Join us on Patreon and become part of our journey to uncover history's untold stories. Your support helps us create in-depth content, bring hidden narratives to life, and keep history alive for everyone.
Throughout the vast and complex tapestry of American history, certain stories have been deliberately silenced, buried beneath layers of myth, prejudice, and selective memory. Among these are the profound and deeply human narratives of Black Native Americans, individuals and communities who lived at the intersection of African and indigenous identities. Their stories are not mere footnotes. They are integral threads woven into the very fabric of America, reflecting resilience, adaptation, and resistance in the face of relentless oppression. Yet, for centuries, these accounts have been overshadowed by dominant historical narratives that favored simplicity over complexity, erasing the nuanced experiences of those who did not fit neatly into constructed racial categories. The erasure of Black Native histories is not accidental. It is a calculated omission rooted in colonialism, slavery, and systemic racism, forces that sought to divide and conquer, to pit communities against one another, and to erase any evidence of solidarity and shared struggle. Black natives lived and thrived in diverse tribes across the continent, forming familial bonds, cultural exchanges, and political alliances that defied the imposed racial boundaries of colonial America. Their identities challenged the binary constructs of Black and Indigenous, revealing a rich, hybrid existence that colonial powers found inconvenient to acknowledge. To understand the depth of this suppression, one must delve into the early encounters between African and indigenous peoples. From the first arrival of enslaved Africans in the Americas, there were instances of escape and refuge among native tribes. These alliances were not merely acts of survival. They were acts of defiance against a system designed to dehumanize and control. Over time, these relationships grew into intricate networks of kinship, culture, and resistance. Yet, mainstream historical accounts have systematically ignored these relationships, often portraying native tribes as monolithic and Africans as isolated victims of slavery. One must also confront the ways in which colonial and later American governments weaponized identity to fracture communities. Laws such as the one-drop rule and blood quantum regulations were not just tools of classification, they were instruments of erasure. By forcing people to choose between their Black and Native heritages, often under threat of losing land, rights, or social standing, these policies erase centuries of shared history. The consequences of these divisions reverberate today, manifesting in struggles over tribal membership, cultural recognition, and historical memory. Moreover, the suppression of Black Native stories has perpetuated harmful stereotypes. Indigenous peoples have been romanticized as noble but doomed figures of the past, while Black Americans have been portrayed solely through the lens of slavery and civil rights struggles. This simplistic narrative overlooks the rich diversity of experiences and identities that existed and continue to exist at the crossroads of these communities. It denies the reality of Black Native leaders, warriors, artists, and everyday people who contributed to the shaping of this nation. Uncovering these suppressed stories requires more than simply acknowledging their existence. It demands a reevaluation of American history itself. It challenges us to question who writes history, whose voices are amplified, and whose are silenced. It calls for a dismantling of the false dichotomies that have long shaped our understanding of race, identity, and belonging. In doing so, we honor the resilience of Black Native peoples and reaffirm their rightful place in the American narrative. The journey into these hidden histories is not merely an academic exercise. It is a moral imperative. It is about restoring dignity to those whose stories have been stolen and recognizing the complexity of the American experience. As we peel back the layers of omission, we begin to see a fuller, more truthful picture of the past, one that acknowledges the struggles, triumphs, and enduring legacies of Black Native Americans. This exploration reveals tales of fierce resistance against colonial forces, stories of cultural fusion and survival, and narratives of betrayal and perseverance. From the alliances forged during the brutal era of slavery to the complex roles played by Black natives during the Indian removal period, these accounts illuminate the resilience and adaptability of communities who refuse to be erased. They reveal the lives of individuals who navigated treacherous social landscapes, crafting identities that defied imposed boundaries and forged paths toward freedom and self-determination. In uncovering these suppressed stories, we are invited to reflect on the broader implications for contemporary society. The struggles faced by Black Native communities in the past echo in present-day battles for recognition, rights, and representation. Understanding this history deepens our grasp of the systemic forces that continue to marginalize certain groups and offers insights into how solidarity and collective action have historically been powerful tools for resistance. As we embark on this journey to illuminate 6 deeply buried stories of Black Native Americans, let us do so with reverence and a commitment to truth. Let us listen intently to the voices that have long been silenced and allow their narratives to reshape our understanding of American history. In doing so, we not only honor their legacy, but also take a crucial step toward a more inclusive and honest reckoning with the past.